Good morning, students. As you all know that today you are having your physics online test at 11 a.m. Okay, so sharp at 11 a.m. be at your study room. Okay, just open your site, open your ID, open your app, and just sit along with your all the stationery material, so you don't have face any problem regarding solution of any of the questions. Clear? Test will be there at 11 a.m. Okay, so the remaining portion of the chapter capacitance, which we have started for the revision on Saturday's lecture, that we are just continuing today. Okay, so here the remaining portion of that chapter. Now today we will start our new topic of a capacitance, that is a combinations of capacitors. As we know, even you just be studying in your 10th standard also, the combinations of resistance. Okay, resistors. Two types of combinations are there. Same as that, in capacitors also, there are two types of combination. One is series combination and another is parallel combination. Okay, so in series combinations, for understanding it, what we have done, we have just connect three capacitances, C1, C2 and C3. The points at the points P and N in this series combination, which a potential difference may be applied. Okay, in this, P is connected to a positive terminal of the battery and N is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. The second plate of a capacitor C1 is connected to the first plate of the capacitor C2, and the second plate of a capacitor C2 is connected to the first plate of the capacitor C3. In this is the entire combination of a series combination. Now, for to understanding how we can resolve and how we can evaluate the equivalent capacitance, what we have to do, first of all, let the battery supply a plus Q charge on the first plate of the first capacitor C1. Okay, battery supplies a plus Q charge on the first plate of the capacitor. So by electrostatic induction, a minus Q charge appears in the inner face of the second plate C1 due to the electrostatic induction. Plus Q charge arises on the first plate of capacitor C1 due to the positive terminal of the battery, and due to the electrostatic induction, a negative charge appears on the inner face of the second plate of capacitor C1. Clear? Now, and a plus Q charge on the outer face. Okay, plus Q charge on the outer face. Similarly, as here the plus Q charge is there, in this capacitor C2, outer side minus Q charge and the inner side plus Q charge is present. And due to this plus Q charge, again due to the electrostatic induction, minus Q charge is present or develop on the inner face of the second plate of capacitor C2. Okay, and like that only the same process is proceeding ahead. Clear? I am again explaining you how the charges appears on the plates. The first plate of capacitor C1 is just connected with positive charge, positive terminal of the battery. So plus Q appears on the first plate. Due to electrostatic induction, minus Q charge is present in the inner face of capacitor C1 of second plate. It means the plus Q charge is on the outer portion. Clear? Again here minus Q, because positive attracts the negative, minus Q on the outer surface, plus Q on the inner surface. again by electrostatic induction, minus Q on the inner surface of second plate of capacitor C2. Similarly, the same process is moving ahead. Okay, so by this we can just create a charges on the plates of the capacitor. Now, by the complete distribution of the charge on each plate of the capacitor, okay, the contribution of each charge distribution on the each plates of the capacitor. Now, since the capacitances are different, so their potential differences are also be different. For C1, it will be V1, C2, V2, C3, V3. Okay. Charges will remain the same, but capacitance and potential differences both are different. Clear? In series combinations. So let the potential difference across C1, C2 and C3 is V1, V2 and V3. Okay, respectively. Now, as we know that the basic formula of the capacitance is C is equals to Q upon V. And from here, V is equals to Q upon C. Now, charge is same on each plate. Capacitance and potential is different on each plate. So for V1, it will be C1. Okay. So V1 is equals to Q upon C1. V2 is equals to Q upon C2. And V3 is equals to Q upon C3. If we have connected 4 capacitance, then in a further, we are having V4 is equals to Q upon C4 and so on. Clear? Now, if the potential difference across P and N is V, the total potential difference across P and N is V, then the total means we have to be sum of all the potential differences between P and N. So, V is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Now, simply we have to put the values of V1, V2 and V3 in this equation. So, as we put all the values of V1, V2 and V3 in that equation, we get the value V is equals to Q upon C1 plus Q upon C2 plus Q upon C3. This is your equation number 1. Now, if the total capacity of the combination is CS, we are just be denoting the total capacitance. Now I am repeating again that if the total capacity of the combination is CS, means in a series combination the total capacity is denoted by CS. Its capacity of this combination is CS. Then from the formula V is equals to Q upon C, and here Q is the charge which is present equally in all the capacitor, and CS is the total capacity of the combination, and V is the total potential difference in this combination. Now we are just be comparing both the equations, equation number 1 and equation number 2, and from this we get Q upon CS is equals to Q 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3, means this Q will just be taken as common. Q and Q cancel out. So 1 upon CS is equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus 1 upon C3. This is the equivalent capacitance of a capacitor in a series combination. This is your equation number 3. Okay, and this value has been coming 1 upon CS. If you are just be taking the value of, in the last you have to be calculate the value of CS. So for this, what you have to do? You have to take the LCM. Okay, so after taking the LCM, the answer will be the final answer. Now here in this combination, we are taking only 3 capacitors. Okay, and if the equivalent capacitance of n capacitors means C1, C2, so on, Cn is connected in series, then how we can we evaluate the value of equivalent capacitance? Simply by putting the values up to the n. So 1 upon Cs is equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2 plus so on 1 upon Cn. But remember, in the last you have to be simplify your equation, and afterwards you have to be calculate only the value of Cs, not 1 upon Cs. Clear? And you know it very well, the unit of capacitance is farad. So the answer will be coming in your farad. Don't be forgot to put the to write the unit. Clear? Okay, now there are some important points which are related to this series combination of a capacitor. And this, the first, these are 3 points which you have to be remember. Sometimes the question may also be arise from these important points, being as a conceptual questions. So you have to be remember about these 3 points. Okay, so first point is that in series combination the amount of charge is same. This we all know about this, as we have just started the series combination. I had just told you the first thing is that the charge will be the same in all the capacitor in series combination, and capacitor and potential difference are different for each and every capacitor. Okay, so in this the series combination amount of charge is same for all capacitors irrespective of their capacitances. So what was their ratios? Q1 ratio, Q2 ratio, Q3 ratio, and so on. So their ratios will be 1 ratio, 2 ratio, 3 ratio, and so on. Okay. Second one is if n capacitors of equal capacitances. Okay. If there are n capacitors are connected in a series combination which all are having a equal capacitances, equal value, C, are connected in series combination, then their equivalent capacitance is C by N. Okay, remember this will be applicable only when the value of all the capacitors are equal and they have to be connected in a series combination. Okay, similarly their potential difference across each is V upon N. Third important point. If a number of dielectric slabs having a dielectric constant epsilon R1, epsilon R2, epsilon R3 and so on, okay, are placed between the plates of the capacitor. If the number of dielectric slabs of dielectric constant, different dielectric constant are placed between the plates of the capacitor, then what will be the value of the capacitance? Equivalent capacitance series combination. First of all, we have to calculate in each of the capacitor. C1 is equals to epsilon naught epsilon R1 A T1. This we have already calculated in our dielectric medium present between the space of the parallel capacitor derivation. Okay, maybe day before yesterday we had just discussed about this. So C1, similarly C2 and so on. Okay, what is the formula of equivalent value of a capacitance? 1 upon Cs. Here we are having 2 capacitors, so 1 upon Cs is equals to 1 upon C1 plus 1 upon C2. We have to put both the values. Okay, so as we know, as we are just putting both the values, they will be reciprocal. So T1 is going in upside and epsilon naught epsilon R1 A will be on the downside. Okay, same in this. As we are taking common, so epsilon naught A, 1 upon epsilon naught A will become common, and in a portion what will be remaining in this bracket? T1 epsilon R1, this is nothing. Okay, T1 epsilon R1 plus T2 epsilon R2. This is the equivalent value of a capacitance when a dielectric medium of a dielectric constant are placed between the plates of a capacitor. But I had just told you that what you have to do, you have to calculate the value of Cs. Okay, not 1 upon Cs. So for calculating the value of Cs, what we have to do? only reciprocate the value. Okay, so Cs is equals to epsilon naught A upon T1 upon epsilon R1 plus T2 upon epsilon R2. Here epsilon R1, T2 epsilon R2. Okay, this is the equivalent value of a capacitance in a series combination if dielectric medium having a dielectric constant is placed between the plates of a capacitor. Okay, parallel. Second times we will discuss, that is parallel combination. In this parallel combination, we have just been connected three capacitances, three capacitor, C1, C2, C3. Okay, three parallel plate capacitors are connected in a series combination. Okay, and these three are just be connected by the terminal of a battery. P point is connected with the battery's positive terminal and Q point is connected to the battery's negative terminal. Okay, now as the positive charge is moving towards the first plate of each capacitor, after the electrostatic induction, a negative charge is induces on the inner face of the second plates of each capacitor. It means the charges on each capacitors are same. The charges on each capacitor is different. Okay, and the potential will be the same. So in this, that yesterday we have discussed, in a series combination the charge will remain same and potential and capacitors are different, and in parallel combination the potential is same, charge and capacitances are different. Okay, so we just will look forward about this circuit diagram, that let the battery supplies a charge, let the battery supplies a charge plus Q, which is distributed on the first plate of three capacitors, and charges on these plates will be Q1, Q2 and Q3. Due to electrostatic induction, the charges minus Q1, minus Q2 and minus Q3 appears on inner faces of the second plates of respective capacitor, as I just told you in the construction of a parallel plate capacitor in that diagram. Okay, so all the plates, both the plates of a parallel plate capacitor is having a charges plus Q and minus Q. Okay, different charges are there. So as we know about the formula of a capacitance, that C is equals to Q upon V, and from here Q is equals to CV. So for first capacitor, charge will be Q1, V will be the same in parallel plate capacitor. Similarly, for charge second capacitor, potential will be the same. So here Q1 is equals to C1V, Q2 is equals to C2V and Q3 is equals to C3V. Now what we have to do, we have to find the total charge. It means we have to do sum of all the charges. Q is equals to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. And now simply we have to put the values of Q1, Q2 and Q3 which we have been calculated previously. Now put all these values in equation number 1. Q is equals to C1V, C2V, C3V. Okay. Now V will be the same in this parallel combination. So we just take V as a common, potential difference is a common. So the equation will be Q is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3 multiply by V. This is your equation number 2. Now charge has been calculated. If the equivalent capacitance of a parallel combination is denoted by Cp, just we remember the series combination the equivalent capacitance is denoted by Cs, and in parallel combination it is denoted by Cp. So Q is equals to Cp into V. Q is equals to Cp into V. This is your third equation. Now just we compare equation number 2 and equation number 3. We get Cpv is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3 multiplied by V. V and V cancel out to each other. Then we get Cp is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3. This is the value of equivalent capacitance in a parallel combination if three capacitors are arranged in a parallel combination. Okay. If there are n number of different capacitors, means right now the derivation which we have done, in that only we have just connected three different capacitors. Now just we imagine that if there are n number of different capacitors are connected in a parallel combination, then their equivalent capacitance is simply C is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3, so on up to the Cn, the last number, where the how much number of capacitance are being connected in parallel combination. So this is the equation number 5. 4 and different number of capacitors are connected in a parallel combination. Okay. Now in this also we have some important points. Okay, as like in the series combination, parallel combinations also be having some important points. The first point is that in parallel combination, potential difference across each capacitor is same, which we have known and just be discussed right now, that in parallel combination the potential difference across each capacitor is same. And in series combination, which quantity is same? In series combination, which quantity is same? Charge. Okay. And in parallel combination, potential difference. So V1, V2, V3, all the ratios is equals to 1 ratio 1 and so on. How much amount of potential is there? They all will be the same. But the charge on each capacitor is proportional to its capacitance. Charge is not be same in parallel combination and capacitance also be not same. So the charge is proportional to the capacitance. Q1 ratio, Q2 ratio, Q3 so on equals to C1 ratio, C2 ratio, C3 and so on. Okay, this is your first important point. Second, if n identical capacitors, each of capacitance C, are connected in a parallel combination, the equivalent capacitance of the combination in n is n times the individual capacitance. Okay, if there are n number of capacitance are connected and all the capacitors which are connected in a parallel combination is having a value C, means all the capacitances are equal, then their equivalent capacitance is Cp is equals to Nc, means n number of the value of the capacitance. That will be your equivalent value of capacitance if n number of identical capacitors, each of capacitance C, are connected in a parallel combination. Now the third important point is if n number of dielectric slabs, each of same thickness D, same thickness D, having a dielectric constant epsilon R1, epsilon R2, epsilon R3 and so on, are placed in a space between the capacitor, then the equivalent capacitance is, so we have just been know about what is the value of a capacitance when a dielectric slab is kept between the plates of a capacitor. Formula is epsilon R epsilon naught A upon D. Here each capacitor carries a different dielectric constant with a different area. The dielectric constant in a vacuum and thickness are the same. Okay, so C1 is equals to epsilon R1 epsilon naught A1 upon D. C2 is equals to epsilon R2 epsilon naught A2 upon D. And C3 is equals to epsilon R3 epsilon naught A3 upon D. Right now we have just be consider three capacitances which are connected in a parallel combination. Here A1, A2 and A3 are the areas corresponding to dielectric slab respectively. Means A1 for the capacitance C1, A2 for C2 and A3 for C3. Now what we have to calculate? We have to calculate the equivalent capacitance of a parallel combination. So formula is Cp is equals to C1 plus C2 plus C3. As we have put the values. What is epsilon R1 epsilon naught A1 upon D plus epsilon R2 epsilon naught A2 upon D plus epsilon R3 epsilon naught A3 upon D. Okay. Now epsilon naught and D is common in all the three terms. So we have to take it common. So Cp is equals to epsilon naught upon D full multiplication A1 epsilon R1 plus A2 epsilon R2 plus A3 epsilon R3. This is the value of equivalent capacitance when three capacitors are connected in a parallel combination and each capacitor is filled with a dielectric constant, different dielectric constant between the space of the parallel plate capacitor. This is the value of equivalent capacitance. Now we have just discussed about both the combination, series combination and the parallel combination. And if you not forgot that, or if you remember about the series and parallel combination of a resistance, on that you are having a formula that in series R1 plus R2 plus so on, and in parallel 1 upon R1 plus 1 upon R2 plus so on. Okay. Now similarly, if we are just discuss about the series and parallel combination of a capacitance, just we have a vice versa formula. The parallel combination formula of a resistance is used in a series combinations of a capacitance. Okay, and the series combination of a resistance formula is used in a parallel combination of a capacitor. If you remember the formula of series and parallel combination of resistance from class 10, then you can easily remember about both the formulas in capacitor also. Okay, this is only I am giving you hint how you can remember if you know the formula of a resistance. Okay, and as we know, this is not a typical formula, you can easily learn. Okay, now I just want to in exams also the numericals are coming regarding this combination of a capacitance, and both the combinations are just be combined in a numerical, as I just be tell you yesterday also. Okay, so here one numerical I am solving you out, and the remaining questions I am just be giving you for your homework. Okay, so find the equivalent capacitance between point P and N. Between point P and N, you have to calculate the equivalent capacitance. Now, there are three capacitance are connected in a particular combination: C1, C2, C3. C1 we are having a value 10 microfarad, C2 20 microfarad, C3 30 microfarad, and the points are just be connected with the terminal of a battery. Positive and negative is having a potential V. Okay, we have to be focused about the values of a capacitance because we have to calculate only the equivalent capacitance between the points P and N. So here I am just solving it out. Look it carefully. In a first step, as we know, both the capacitors C1 and C2 are in parallel combination. Okay, and parallel combination formula is C1 plus C2. Okay, so simply we have to put the formula. C1 is having a value 10 and C2 is having a value 20. Both is having a same unit, microfarad. So here Cp is equals to 30 microfarad. And we have just resolved this circuit and two capacitances are connected in a parallel combination. So we have just find the value Cp is equal to 30 microfarad. Okay. Now we have to resolve the above circuit diagram. That C1 and C2 is in parallel combination. So we have a equivalent capacitance Cp 30 microfarad. And remaining circuit diagram is as usual. C3 30 microfarad. P and N points connected with terminal of a battery, positive and negative of V volt. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to know about that Cp and C3 are in a series combination. So Cp and C3 are in series combination, and we know about the formula of a series combination. 1 upon Cs is equals to 1 upon Cp plus 1 upon C3. 1 upon Cs, both the values Cp 30, C3 30 unit microfarad. Afterwards we will write. Okay, take the LCM. 30 will be the LCM. 1 plus 1, 2 upon 30, 1 upon 15 microfarad. Okay, but now what we have to do? We have to find the value of Cs. Okay, not be 1 upon Cs. So Cs is equals to 15 microfarad. This will be our answer. Okay, I hope you all will understand this numerical easily. Okay, there is not so much hard in this topic. Just you have to know that how to resolve a circuit diagram easily, how to make the circuit diagram easy to make understand and to resolve the problem. Okay, the next topic is energy stored in a capacitor. Energy stored in a capacitor. Energy stored in a capacitor. As we know, capacitor is that device in which the charge has been stored. Now charge has been stored. For storing the charge, we have to do some work, and regarding that work should be converted into the form of energy. As I told you in our previous classes also, that whenever a question comes across to you, that you have to calculate the energy, then which type of calculation you have to do? Means you have to first calculate the work done. Afterwards you have just write one sentence that the amount of work done has been converted into energy. Stored energy means potential energy. Same as like that, in this also, first of all we have to calculate the amount of work done. Okay, and afterwards we will just be converted that work done into the form of energy. I hope you all have just Understood what I am saying to you? What I am trying to explain you out? So for that, energy stored in a capacitor, we have just we take a parallel plate capacitor, two plates A and B. One is having a plus Q dash charge, another is having a minus Q dash charge. Means one plate is having positive charges and another is having a negative charges. So always we know that charges are moving from positive to negative. So they are just be moving from here to in another plate. So suppose that a certain instant charge Q dash is already present on one plate of a capacitor, and during the charging process, as we start to charging them by using a battery, at that instant a potential difference V between the capacitor's plates is Q dash upon V C has been started. Okay, as we are just be doing a charging process by joining them with the terminals of a battery. Okay, at that particular instant a potential difference V come across the plates of the capacitor. Now what is the formula of the capacitor? Means in our starting video, in our first lecture, what I am displaying you out, that charge is directly proportional to potential. So from here Q is equals to CV. Here we are taking charge Q dash is equals to CV, and as we are the charging process is started, the potential instant potential difference across the plates of the capacitor, the value of the potential difference is Q dash upon C. So here Q dash upon C. Now if now an increment of work needed is given by, suppose a work has been increased. So for that, what was the formula of work done? Potential is equals to, from our third chapter beta, work upon charge. Potential is equals to work upon charge, and work is equals to potential into charge. Okay, so this formula we are just be applying from third chapter here for energy stored in capacitor, and easily we will put the value of potential. Okay, so increment means some additions. So small amount of work for this small charge, potential increment, the potential difference due to the charging process is V dash. Now total work done. For calculating the total process, what we have to do? We have to do integration, and charge is stored from 0 to Q. Simply we will put the value of V dash from here, Q dash upon C. So put the value of V dash in this equation. So as we are doing integration, dW, integration is W. Okay, integration 0 to Q, V dash dQ. Now put the value of V dash, Q dash upon C dQ. C is your constant, so 1 upon C integration of Q dash dQ from limit 0 to Q. Work done 1 upon C integration x to the power n integration x n plus 1 upon n plus 1. Limit is given, so we are not be use here integration constant. Okay, so for that we have to do integration of Q dash. Q dash, this is dash, not 1. So it means Q dash is having a power 1. Then Q dash 1 plus 1 upon 1 plus 1. Square of Q dash upon 2. So square of Q dash upon 2, and limit is 0 to Q. What we have to do here? Now we have to put the limit, final minus initial. So as we put the limit, okay, so what will be our equation? W is equals to 1 upon 2c q square minus 0 square. Okay, so it doesn't have any existence, 0 square. So our equation is W is equals to half q square upon c, equation number 2. Now as I have told you that this amount of work done has been stored in the form of energy, and which energy? Potential energy, because storing energy is our potential energy. So the amount of work done which we have calculated right now has been stored in the form of potential energy U in the capacitor. So work has been converted into U, half q square upon c, equation number 3. This is the value of potential energy, the energy stored in the capacitor in the form of charge in capacitor. Now from our first lecture we are having a value of q. Q is equals to CV. We simply put the value of q equals to CV in equation number 3. Means from here, as we are putting this value in equation number 3, what we are getting? We have get U is equals to half. In place of q we have to put CV. C square V square, because square is there, divide by C. C and 1C from upside has been cancelled out. So what we have got in the last? Half C V square. Okay, equation number 4. Now if we have to substitute the value, C is equals to C is equals to Q upon V. C is equals to Q upon V in equation number 3. Okay, first we have just put the value of Q. We have just got this equation. Now we have to put the value of C. Then we have get the another equation. C is equals to Q upon V in equation number 3. Okay, here is some mistake. I have just cancelled out. So please, while you are writing, you will just make it show this equation you have to write. Okay, so here we have to put the value of C. U is equals to half Q square, and in place of C we have to put Q upon V. Q upon V. Q and 1Q has been cancelled out. What we get? Half Q V. What we have get, beta? Half Q V. Equation number 5. Okay, I am again repeating, don't be confused, that as we have just got this equation, half Q square upon C, first of all we have to put the value of Q. Q is equals to CV in this equation. As we are putting the value of Q, CV, so Q is having a square, C square V square. C and C cancel out. We have just get half CV square. Equation number 4. Now we have to put the value of C in equation number 3. C is Q upon V. Okay, Q upon V. Q upon V. Q and Q cancel out. So U is equals to half QV. Half is equals to half QV. U is equals to half QV. So we have get 3 values of energy stored. That is, U is equals to half Q square upon C, U is equals to half CV square, and U is equals to half QV here. Okay, we can express the energy stored in a charged capacitor in these 3 ways. It completely depends upon the numerical, that which value has been given in the numerical. It's completely depends upon that. If a charge and capacitor is given, you have to calculate energy stored, then you have to use this formula. If capacitor and potential is given, then this formula, and if a charge and potential is given, you have to use this formula. It means it completely depends upon the value which is given in the numerical. Clear? Now this is about the energy stored in the capacitor. Now the next topic is energy density of electric field between plates of a parallel capacitor. Okay, means we have to calculate energy density. As we know the formula of density is mass upon volume. Now here the words come across to us is energy density, means energy upon volume. If the electric field is there between the plates of the parallel capacitor. So for a parallel plate capacitor having an area capital A, charge capital Q, and the electric field between the capacitor's plates is E is equals to sigma upon epsilon naught. You know it very well. This formula is come across to us from chapter number 2, Gauss law and its application, and even this formula we are continuously using for calculating the value of capacitance in parallel plate capacitor. Okay, so E is equals to sigma upon epsilon naught. Sigma is your surface charge density whose value is Q upon A. So put Q is the charge, A is the area of a plate. So Q upon A epsilon naught. This is equation number 1. So from this equation we can easily calculate the value of Q. Q is equals to E into A epsilon naught. Equation number 2. Now the electrostatic energy of a charged capacitor. Charge capacitor, right now we have calculated the value of energy stored in a capacitor. Half Q square upon C. 3 values we have just be told you right now, that U is equals to half Q square upon C, half CV square, and half QV. So we are using this value because in this we can easily put the value of charge and capacitor. Okay, so half Q square upon C. Here we are using a parallel plate capacitor. Just be consider our third lecture. In that we can calculate the value of capacitance for a parallel plate capacitor if vacuum or air is present between the space of the space of the plates. Okay, so that formula is epsilon naught A upon D. Okay, so we are having value of Q from equation number 2. We are having a value of capacitance from equation number 4. Put the value of Q from equation 2 and C from equation 4 in equation number 3. Okay, so half Q square means epsilon naught A E square upon C means epsilon naught A upon D. Epsilon naught is square and epsilon naught cancel out, means what we have to do, half epsilon naught is square A square E square upon epsilon naught A and D. Okay, square cancel out, A cancel out, what we have just we get half epsilon naught A E square D. This is the value of energy stored in a capacitor when electric field is there. Equation number 5. As we know that area into distance is your volume. Okay, V is your volume. Don't be forgot or don't be confused. V is the potential also and V is your volume also, capital V. So here we are considering V as a volume because we are discussing about energy density. Okay, so density, mass upon volume, energy density, energy upon volume. So this is your volume. Area into distance is your volume. Okay, not the potential. Remember this thing, beta. So energy density is denoted by small u. Means energy per unit volume. U is small u is equals to energy stored, capital U upon volume V. Here this AD is your volume. I am writing it again. U is equals to half epsilon naught E square. A and D is considered as volume. Okay. U upon volume is equals to half epsilon naught E square. And U upon volume, energy per unit volume is your energy density U. So U is equals to U upon V is equals to half epsilon naught E square. This is the value of the energy density when electric field is there between the plates of the capacitor. Now our next heading is energy stored in combination of a capacitor. Means two combination we have studied. in our last two classes, series combination and parallel combination. So in that combination of capacitor, how the energy is stored, we are just discussing about that only. A simple topic is there. First combination which we are taking is series combination. So suppose the n capacitances of C1, C2, so on Cn connected in a series combination. So their equivalent capacitance. What is the formula of equivalent capacitance of a series combination? 1 upon Cs is equals to 1 upon C1, 1 upon C2 plus so on 1 upon Cn. Here, as we know it very well, in a series combination, charge on each capacitor will remain same. So the charge Q on each capacitor is same. Charge is same. So we are just be calculating energy stored. Energy stored formula we have to use half Q square upon Cs. I just be told you. Among these three formulas, we have to be choose one formula, and completely depends upon what the value has been given, provide to us. Here charge will remain same and Cs value, the equivalent capacitance in series combination, we know it very well. So this formula we are using, U is equals to half Q square upon Cs. Okay, so Q square is the same constant, take is common, 2 is numeric value also taken as a common, put the value of Cs, 1 upon Cs, 1 upon C1, 1 upon C2, so on 1 upon Cn. Just be multiply Q square upon 2 with each of the values of a capacitance. So Q square upon 2 C1, Q square upon 2 C2 and so on, Q square upon 2 Cn. Okay, Q square upon 2C. Q square upon 2C is the value of energy stored. This is for the first capacitance. So the value is for the first energy stored, U1. Okay. Then this is for the second capacitance. The value is U2. And this is for the nth capacitance. The value is Un. So in the form of a series combination, the energy stored in that combination of a capacitor is U is equals to U1 plus U2 plus so on Un. Clear? Okay, means simply addition, the algebraic addition of all the value of energy. Clear? Now we are discussing about the second combination, parallel combination. Also in this combination we are considering n capacitors. Okay, having a capacitance is C1, C2, so on Cn connected in a parallel combination. As we know it very well, for the parallel combination, the value of the formula of equivalent capacitance is Cp is equals to C1 plus C2 plus so on Cn. Now we know it very well. In parallel combination, the potential difference will remain same. As it in series combination, the charge will remain same for each capacitor. Similarly, in parallel combination, the potential difference V across each capacitor is same. So the energy stored in each equivalent capacitor. Now here which formula we are using of energy stored? Half CV square, because in this the potential is same. In that series combination, which formula we are using? Half Q square upon C, because in that charge is same. Okay, and in this formula the potential is same, so we are using this formula. Okay, so just we remember, according to the given value we are using the value formula of energy stored. So half is common, put the value of equivalent capacitance of a parallel combination C1 plus C2 so on Cn. V square is a common because it will be same. Okay, just multiply half and V square with each of the value of a capacitance. Half C1 V square, half C2 V square, so on, half Cn V square. Okay, half CV square is a formula of potential energy. So for the first capacitance U1, second U2, for the nth Un. So U is equals to U1 plus U2 plus so on UN, means simply the algebraic sum of all the potential energies. Means in a series combination and in parallel combination, both is having the formula of energy stored is same. Normal the algebraic sum of all the energies. So in both series and parallel combination of capacitor, the total energy stored in the combination is equal to the sum of energy stored in individual capacitor. Clear? Okay? Meaning in both the series and parallel combination, the total energy in the combination is equal to sum of all the energy stored in individual capacitors. Okay? Clear? Okay. So we have just been discussed about the energy stored in the combinations of capacitor. Now we are having only last two topics are remaining in this chapter. I just hope that in our tomorrow's lecture, this chapter number 4 has been completed. If you have any doubt, any queries, you may ask, okay, because afterwards we will start our next chapter, the 5th chapter, electric current. Okay, so just go through with all the derivations which we have done in this chapter, and if any queries regarding the derivations, you may ask. Even for the numericals also, I just be thinking I have to prepare one video of numericals which I just be given you in this chapter. Okay, so from that you can easily check it out whether your numericals which you are solving by your own is correct or not. Clear? Is redistribution of charge and loss of energy on sharing of charges. In this, when we just be considered two spherical conductor is having a different charges, and due to that they are having different potential difference. Okay, potential across them. When we are just be connected both the spherical conductor with an negligible capacitance of a conducting wire, then as we know that the charge has been moving from high potential to the low potential until both the spherical conductor doesn't acquire the equal amount of potential. Till then they are just sharing the charges, they are sharing the potential. Okay, for that only we are just calculating the redistribution of charge. So just be focused on this diagram. Here we are considering two spherical conductor A and B, two isolated spherical conductors A and B, having a radii R1 and R2 and potential V1 and V2 respectively. Both is having a charge, a capacitance C1 and C2. This is all about when it was not be connected to each other. Okay, so consider two isolated spherical conductors A and B of radii R1 and R2, charged potentials V1 and V2. If capacitance on the conductors are C1 and C2 and charges on them are Q1 and Q2 respectively, then we know the formula Q is equals to CV. So for charge Q1 it is C1 V1, Q2 C2 V2, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So total charge on the system before the two conductors are brought into contact. Okay, we are just be calculating the total charge on the system before the connections, means before any contact between both the conductors, and total charge will be Q1 plus Q2. Simply put the value of Q1 and Q2 from equation 1 and 2, and we get Q is equals to C1 V1 plus C2 V2. This is the total charge on the system when two conductors are not be in contact to each other. Okay, equation number 3. Now again focusing on the diagram, just focusing on the diagram, in that same spherical conductor, we are just connecting a conducting wire of a negligible capacitance. Okay, they both having, after having a negligible conducting wire of a negligible capacitance, the potentials are distributed from high to low. Okay, clear? Up to when this isolated spherical conductor acquire the same, a common potential. Okay, so if the two conductors are now connected through a conducting wire of negligible capacitance, then the charge will flow from higher potential to lower potential till both acquire same potential V. Now, as the two conductors are at same potential, okay, that we have discussed right now, can be treated as a parallel combination, okay, when both having a same potential and same potential condition has been applied in parallel combination. Don't be forgot, okay. As we know that in series combination the charge will remain same, and in parallel combination potential will remain same. Okay, so in this when the conducting wire is connected between the two isolated spherical conductor, the potential will become same, common. So this will create a treated as a parallel combination. And if the parallel combination they have just been acquired, then what is the formula of parallel capacitance for the equivalent capacitance? What was that? C1 plus C2. Then the capacity is C1 plus C2. After the redistribution of the charges, if Q1 dash and Q2 dash charges are redistributed, so the new charges we have just be get Q1 dash and Q2 dash are the charges on C1 and C2. So the same formula we apply. Q is equals to CV. Now here Q will become Q dash, C for each C1 and C2, and V will be same. So Q1 dash is equals to C1V, Q2 dash is equals to C2V. Equation number 4 and equation number 5. Now, from conservation of charge, total charge before redistribution must equal to total charge after redistribution. Okay, means the total charge before redistribution is equal to, means before charge is equals to the after charge. Okay, initially it will be equals to the final due to conservation of charge. Okay, so Q is equals to total charge after the connection of the conducting wire. Okay, Q is equals to Q1 dash plus Q2 dash. This is dash, not square. Okay, Q1 dash plus Q2 dash. From equation 4 and 5 we have to put the value. C1V plus C2V. V we will take common. C1 plus C2 multiply by V. Equation number 6. Now from equation 3rd and equation 6. Equation 3rd is the total charge before connection. And equation number 6 is the total charge after connection. Before connection the potential is not the same. So C1 V1 plus C2 V2. And after connection potential is same. C1 plus C2 into V. What we have to find? We have to find the common potential. So V is equals to C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. This is your value of a common potential, a same potential. Okay, redistribution of a charge. Equation number 7. The ratios of the charges after redistribution. Q1 dash upon Q2 dash. Q1 dash is having a formula from equation 4. C1V. Q2 dash C2V from equation 5. V and V, same potential. Cancel out. C1 upon C2. Means the ratio of the charges is equal to the ratio of their capacitance. Equation number 8. Now we are just assuming or taking a case that if V1 potential is greater than V2. Means the common potential after the connection of a conducting wire is less than V1 but greater than V2. We are just applying a condition. And why this condition we are using? Because due to this only we can easily calculate the change in the potential. Okay, so we are just taking a case V1 is greater than V2. It means the common potential V will be less than V1 and greater than V2. Now the change in potential of first conductor. First conductor is having a potential V1, and right now we have just discussed that V1 is greater than V and V is greater than V2. So here V1 is greater than V. So change in potential V1 minus V, greater minus small. V1 minus V, common potential. Already we have calculated the formula from equation number 8, I think 8 or 7. Okay, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 upon C1 plus C2. Take LCM. C1 C2 is taken as LCM. V1 multiplied by C1 plus C2 minus C1 V1 plus C2 V2. Solve this bracket, open this bracket, multiplying V1 by C1 plus C2. So V1 C1 plus V1 C2. Again open this bracket, multiply by minus sign. So minus C1 V1 minus C2 V2 plus C1 V1 minus C1 V1 cancel out. Okay. So in the last we have just got the equation C2 V1 minus C2 V2 divide by C1 plus C2. Both is having a common value of capacitance C2. Take C2 as a common. V1 minus V2 upon C1 plus C2. This is the value of a change in the potential for the first conductor. Okay. Equation number 9. Now this is about the change in the potential in the first conductor. Similarly, we can easily calculate the value of change in the potential in second conductor. Second conductor is having a potential V2, and right now we are discussing V1 greater than V, V greater than V2. Here V is greater than V2. So for change, greater minus small, V minus V2. Okay, V is having a value C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divide by C1 plus C2 minus V2. Take LCM. Direct I am solving out. Okay. C1 V1 C2 V2 minus, solving this bracket, V2 C1 minus V2 C2 divide by C1 plus C2. Okay. C2 V2 C2 V2, positive and negative cancel out. In this we are just taking the remaining equation is C1 V1 minus C1 V2 divide by C1 plus C2. C1 is take common, V1 minus V2 upon C1 plus C2. This is the value of change in the potential in a second conductor. So the ratio of the change in the potentials in both the conductors are inverse to the ratio of their capacitance. Means delta V1 upon delta V2. The ratio of change in a potential in both the conductors are equal to the ratio of capacity, inverse value of its capacity, because V1, V2, okay, so they are inversely ratios we have got. Question number 11. So this is about the redistribution of the charge. Okay, first you have to calculate the value of a total charge when no any conducting wire is connected between the two isolated spherical conductor, means both having a different value of potential difference. Okay, and afterwards when we have just connected a conducting wire between isolated spherical conductor, then the potentials move from high to low and acquires a common potential. Okay, then we will find the total charge Q, means Q dash, Q1 dash plus Q2 dash. In this condition we are having the same potential. Okay, as we have get both the values of charges, then we have calculate the total value of charge, means we have just be comparing both the equation. C1 V1 plus C2 V2 is equals to C1 plus C2 into V, and from that we can easily calculate the value of common potential V. Okay, value of V is C1 V1 plus C2 V2 divided by C1 plus C2. Okay, now we have just we take one condition, that if V1 is greater than V2, V1 potential of a first conductor is higher than the potential of the second conductor. Okay, so from here we have just be considered that the common potential is having a value less than the potential in the first conductor and greater than the potential in the second conductor. By this condition we have first calculate the change in a potential in the first conductor, delta V1, V1 minus V, and we calculate the value. Similarly, again we have calculate the change in a potential in second conductor, means V minus V2, and we have just we calculate the value, and in last we have just take the ratio of the change in a potential in each conductor is always equal to the inverse value of the capacitance in each conductor. Okay, now the last topic of this chapter is energy loss. Initially before contact, the total electrostatic potential energy on the system is, means both the isolated spherical conductor are initially not be connected to with each other by a conducting wire. On that convention, first condition, before connecting, they are having their electrostatic potential energy U is equals to U1 plus U2. Now, if you don't forgot the yesterday's electrostatic potential energy formula, U is equals to half CV square. For U1, half C1 V1 square, U2 half C2 V2 square. Put the value of U1 and U2. U is equals to half C1 V1 square plus half C2 V2 square. This is equation number 1. Now, after connecting with the conducting wire, the total electrostatic potential energy of the system, means after connecting with the conducting wire, both the isolated spherical conductors acquire the same potential. So the total electrostatic potential energy is U dash, U1 dash plus U2 dash. Formula of U, half CV square. So for U1, half C1 V square, because after connecting via conducting wire, potential will become same. U2 dash half C2 V square. Put the value. Okay, so half C1 V square, half C2 V square. Half and V square taken as a common, so half C1 plus C2 into V square, equation number 2. We know the value of common potential right now from equation number 7 or 8. Okay, just be check it from the back side of the video or in the notes also. C1 V1 plus C2 V2 upon C1 plus C2. Put this value of potential in equation number 2. Okay, so half C1 plus C2, in place of V square put this value, so C1 V1 plus C2 V2 upon C1 plus C2 whole square. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to calculate this term here, C1 plus C2, and this C1 C2 is having a square, just cancel out one value. Okay, so half this value has been cancelled out, C1 V1 plus C2 V2 square divided by one value of a square has been cancelled out with this value, one value has been remaining, C1 plus C2. Equation number 3. Now we have to find the energy loss, the change in the electrostatic energy, means what will be the value or what will be the change before connection and after connection. So before connection is U, after connection is U dash. Put both the values from equation 1 and equation 3. Half C1 V1 square half C2 V2 square minus half of C1 V1 plus C2 V2 whole square divided by C1 plus C2. Okay. Now first thing what you have to do? First take half as a common. Okay. Now we will take the LCM. LCM of C1 plus C2. C1 plus C2. Now C1 plus C2 will multiply by C1 V1 square. C1 V1 square C1 plus C2. In this also C2 V2 square C1 plus C2. Half has just been taken as a common, so the remaining portion is C1 V1 C2 V2 whole square. Okay. Now solve the bracket. C1 plus C2. Now solve this. C1 into C1, C1 is square, V1 is square. C1 C2. C1 C2 V1 is square. C1 C2 V2 square. C2 square V2 square. A plus B whole square, and when I am solving this identity A plus B whole square, I am also multiplying with the minus sign in this identity. Okay. So minus C1 square V1 square minus C2 square V2 square, and minus I am writing the downside. Okay. 2 C1 V1 C2 V2. Now, if any of the values cancel out in this equation, C1 V1 square plus C1 V1 square, C1 square V1 square minus. Okay. C2 square V2 square plus C2 square V2 square minus. Okay. Any other thing? No. Now, half. Just look at this. C1 C2 V1 square, C1 C2 V2 square minus of 2 C1 C2 V1 V2. I am just taking C1 C2 as a common. Okay. Now in bracket, here V1 square, here V2 square, and here minus 2 V1 V2 is remaining. Divide by C1 plus C2. Okay. Now just look at this equation. I hope you can easily get the identity. A square plus B square minus 2AB means A minus B whole square is having this identity. Okay. A minus B whole square. A square plus B square minus 2AB. So here A is V1, B is V2. So half C1 C2 V1 minus V2 whole square divide by C1 plus C2. Okay. So at last we have just easily get the value of delta U, energy loss, and that is half C1 C2 C1 plus C2 V1 minus V2 whole square. Equation number 3. This is the value of energy loss, the change in the energy U minus U2. I hope you just easily understand this derivation. Okay. Now we have just to calculate the value of energy loss. Now in this energy loss, if V1 and V2, both the potentials are equal to each other, so both the potentials are equal to each other, now what will be the value of energy loss? It will become 0. Okay, if you put the value of V1 and V2 as a same common, then delta U will become 0. So in process of charging a capacitor by a battery of EMF V, half of the energy supplied by a battery gets stored in the capacitor, half QV, okay, and the remaining half QV is dissipated in the form of a heat in a connecting wire. Means as we are just supplied or just we charge the capacitor by a battery of a electromotive force, EMF of V potential, then its entire energy of battery will not be supplied to a capacitor. Only the half of the energy supplied in the form of, in the capacitor, it is half QV, okay. And where does this half energy lost? This energy loss is in the form of the heat in the connecting wires, okay. So by this, your revision of chapter number 4 has been completed. Chapter number 5 and chapter number 6 was your current chapter, so that revision portion I am not be taking. Chapter number 4 is the first chapter which will start on the online classes, and many of the students are not be joined that classes on that time. That's why I'm just providing you the revision of chapter number 4 in a brief, so that you are able to understand chapter number 4 again, and it will be help you in your online test also. Okay, so all the best for the test. Thank you. That's all for today.